Hello, a warm welcome to you all from SDT University. I am Dr. Sahil Kapoor from Faculty of Medical and Health Sciences. Today, we will be learning about tracheostomy.
A tracheostomy is a surgical procedure used to create an opening in the neck to bypass an obstructed airway to deliver oxygen to the lungs easily. To get a complete essence of tracheostomy, we should know the difference between tracheostomy and tracheotomy, its functions, indications, types, and surgical steps, along with associated complications and post-op care. By definition, tracheostomy is making an opening in the anterior wall of trachea and converting it into a stoma on the surface, while tracheotomy refers to opening the trachea. A tracheostomy provides an alternate pathway for breathing, improves alveolar ventilation by decreasing dead space and reducing resistance to airflow. It protects against aspiration and permits removal of tracheobronchial secretions. It is also used to provide intermittent positive pressure respiration and may also be used to administer anesthesia in cases of difficult intubation. What are the various indications of tracheostomy? Number 1. Respiratory obstruction of upper airway due to infections, trauma, foreign body, etc. Number 2 is retained secretions seen in patients with inability to cough like comatose patients, in painful cough like chest injuries, rib fractures or pneumonia. Aspiration of pharyngeal secretions can be seen in cases of bulbar polio or bilateral laryngeal paralysis. Respiratory insufficiency may be seen in cases like emphysema, chronic bronchitis, bronchiectasis, etc. And number 4, prolonged intubation. Tracheostomy in children can be used to provide respiratory support as long-term ventilation, pulmonary toilet, or to bypass proximal airway obstruction. Indications of tracheostomy in infants and children. In infants, it is done mostly due to congenital lesions like subglottic hemangioma, subglottic stenosis, laryngeal cyst, glottic webs, bilateral vocal cord paralysis, etc. In children, it is done due to inflammatory or traumatic lesions like acute laryngotracheobronchitis, epiglottitis, diphtheria, laryngeal edema, etc.
There are different types of tracheostomies. We have emergency tracheostomy, elective tracheostomy, permanent tracheostomy, percutaneous tracheostomy, mini tracheostomy or cricothyroidotomy.
Emergency tracheostomy is done when the airway is obstructed and intubation is not possible. There is a need to establish an airway immediately. Permanent tracheostomy is done in cases of bilateral abductor paralysis or laryngeal stenosis, in cases of laryngectomy or laryngopharyngectomy, as a part of diversion procedure for aspiration problems. Elective or routine tracheostomy. It is done under local or general anesthesia. In general anesthesia, it is done when the endotracheal tube is in situ. It is of two main types, therapeutic or prophylactic. Therapeutic is done to relieve respiratory obstruction, to remove tracheobronchial secretions, or give assisted ventilation. Prophylactically, tracheostomy is done to guard against anticipated respiratory obstruction or aspiration of blood and pharyngeal secretions. They are often temporary and closed when the indication is over. There are three different levels at which tracheostomy can be done: at high level, mid level, or low level. A high level tracheostomy is done above the level of thyroid isthmus at the first ring of trachea. Indications include carcinoma of larynx. Complications: it may cause perichondritis of cricoid cartilage and subglottic stenosis. it is generally avoided. Mid-tracheostomy is done through the second and third tracheal rings. There is division or retraction of the thyroid isthmus to expose the trachea. It is the most preferred type of tracheostomy. Low tracheostomy is done below the level of isthmus. Trachea is deep at this level and closer to larger vessels. Hence, it is seldomly performed. Before learning the steps of the procedure of tracheostomy, it's very important to know the related anatomy. The larynx can be divided into supraglottis, which contains the epiglottis, false vocal cords, and the arytenoid cartilage. Glottis comprises of the true vocal cords. In the subglottic region lies the cricoid cartilage, which is a complete ring. The upper border of the cricoid attaches to the arytenoid posteriorly. It is connected to the thyroid cartilage by cricothyroid membrane anteriorly. Below it's attached to the C-shaped tracheal rings by cricotracheal ligament and membrane. There are various types of tracheostomy tubes. They can be cuffed tubes, uncuffed tubes, fenestrated tubes, tubes with adjustable flanges, tubes with inner cannula, silver metallic tubes, and pediatric tubes. A tracheostomy tube has the following parts. It has a faceplate with two flanges to secure the tube with ties, the cannula, the obturator, and the cuff, which is inflated via the pilot balloon. Now I will show you how a tracheostomy is performed. First of all, the position of the patient. The neck of the patient is extended with bolster below the shoulder. The area is painted and draped for aseptic precautions. We give the local infiltration with 2% lignocaine with or without adrenaline. Identification of surgical landmarks is done. We look for the suprasternal notch, the trachea, the cricoid cartilage, and the thyroid cartilage notch. A vertical or a horizontal incision may be given for tracheostomy. In this video, a horizontal incision is being given. We then dissect the platysma layer followed by division of fascia in the midline. Intermittent palpation of the trachea is advised. The strap muscles should be retracted laterally. The thyroid gland requires retraction either upwards or downwards, or at times may require division for better field of vision of the airway. We use a saline syringe to confirm that we have reached the trachea. Before giving the incision, the anesthetist is asked to deflate the cuff, withdraw the tube, and then re-inflate the cuff. A tracheostomy window is then created between the second and third tracheal rings, a mid-level tracheostomy. Suctioning is done and tracheostomy tube is inserted with simultaneous removal of endotracheal tube. The obturator is removed. The cuff is inflated with around 5 to 10 cc of air. It is connected to the ventilatory circuit and the placement is confirmed. We check for surgical emphysema. Tracheostomy tube is secured with skin sutures or tapes. This completes the tracheostomy procedure.
Now I am going to demonstrate the technique of tracheostomy on a mannequin.
The tracheostomy tube is inserted laterally and then downwards into the trachea, followed by removal of obturator, inflation of the cuff via the pilot balloon, and securing the tube with ties or tapes. This is how a complete tracheostomy looks. What are the various complications of tracheostomy? These include hemorrhage, pneumothorax, accidental displacement of tube, tube occlusion due to secretions or blood, infections, cuff over and under inflation. Late complications include tracheal ulceration, tracheocutaneous fistulae, granulation tissue formation, tracheal stenosis, scar formation. Tracheostomy tube care involves stomach care and cleaning, humidification, suctioning, and cuff management. This is how a tracheostomy tube suction is done. The suction is supposed to be off while inserting inside and on while removing the suctioning catheter. The catheter is removed in a twisting fashion. Tracheostomy stomach care and cleaning involves cleaning the tracheostomy site as well as the tube. Decannulation involves removal of the tube and closure of the stoma.
So, today we discussed tracheostomy. The next time we meet, we will explore allergic rhinitis. Keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.